Hello! Oh, Yanni!
Wow,
Well, you
that was
thought it was
rapid cannon.
sometime. You thought it was
Jesus
sometime,
Christ.
right? Christ.
You practically. Hello.
Professional me. Can I go now?
yeah, I'll allow it.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to episode 84.
Fucking love.
That was involuntary. I couldn't take that. Carry on, Carl.
I'll try that again. Hello and welcome to episode 84 of the Fools on a Hill podcast, where we bring you the latest news and our expert opinion on the newest releases in the world of music. I'm Cal and I'm joined by Yanni and Liam. What a surprise! How do
Hola.
I end up
fellas?
here. Great. Even if the
Fantastic.
heating's not on in this room, it does feel like it is quite stuffy. Could be because
Yeah.
I've come over with a bout of illness.
Oh, he's
dear.
ill.
But,
He's ill.
you know, I power on for the pod, don't I?
Yeah,
You know
Oh,
what it
God.
is.
it's all we can ask for. I bit the bullet last night and put the heating on as the tester.
Was that
Weak.
before Harris left or after?
No, it's Karis. She was here last night.
We'll have it on all night tonight on his
yeah,
own.
I was gonna say.
I
Yeah,
won't.
full
I
blast
won't.
every
I'm a-
radiator on 5.
I am a skinflint. I've got a fluffy duvet. That'll do me. But we did the tester, and I'm happy to report A-OK.
Nice.
Won't be on until December the 1st now.
I've still not budged.
Have you not?
We had like 3 blankets on the bed last night because
Lucky blanket, man.
Oh.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
well we had one of them underneath and then a blanket. Our proper duvet needed to go in the wash because we have a dog who likes to leave liquids in places. This time out the mouth.
Don't
so
I
that's
know
fun.
it?
So the duvet had to go in the quilt. So in the wash. So we had to use a double quilt, which was probably 0.2 tog. It was the most pathetic. It was like a fucking serviette.
This means things to me.
We had to use that and a blanket and a heated blanket and all the rest of it. But
You slept with a
Valve
heated
for-
blanket on?
no, turn it off.
Oh, I was going to say. It's a hazard.
Well, we've done that a few times though. Leave it on like L. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
loser.
very
For Liam.
low. Just keeps your butt warm. You know,
How are you sleeping? You sleep on your chest
toasty. No, 'cause it's underneath. You fool.
with your face on your pillow.
That's the trick. You put it underneath your body.
That's the trick.
Underneath your body.
Have any of us done anything of note this week? I have not.
I put a light picture just before.
Sorry?
I don't think.
So
don't
You
think
bought
I
a light
watched-
fixture.
a light fixture, yeah. A chandelier, if you will, but it's not really a chandelier.
You get a swing
light
for it?
fixture.
Let's see it.
No, that'd be silly. Come on. Okay, now.
Very
Not
silly.
something
To
a
do
cat
that.
in here.
I've not done anything of note. No, I've watched a couple of things, but nothing that was actually worth me telling you to watch. So
Fantastic. Now, us at Fools HQ, we like to do as little work as possible, which is why we have binned off What's the Story for the week. However,
What's the story there, Cal?
we can't be asked. That's the story. However,
No, that-
someone has returned to a band. Yanni, tell me all about it.
well, it's been a while since I was part of Blink 182, so I thought, you know what, I'll just join them again.
He's back.
I'm back in Blink 182.
Very good.
Blink
They were singing
183.
for the last 10 years. All they've been saying is, "Where are you?"
That's
And
my
I've been
alarm,
saying,
no.
I'm so sorry.
That song is my alarm, I'm going to tell you this now. And now every time that song
That's a
comes
bad
up on
idea.
shuffle, that drum, oh, fuck, it makes
Sends
me feel
shivers down
sick
your
to the
spine.
stomach. Really sick. It's
Well,
such a good song.
It's funny they should mention alarms because my alarm is actually a band that we're covering on this pod later.
Wow.
That goes by the name The 1975.
Wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
What song would that be?
It's Pressure, I believe,
Oh.
because it starts off very
Off the second album.
synthy reverb. It's off the no,
I
it's, not.
don't know.
It's off the first album. But yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Carl, what's your alarm?
The Alexa sound.
Oh, that's fucking gross.
What's that?
I
don't
don't
even
know.
know.
It
It
just
sounds horrible.
it lasts about half a
Like
second,
a
and I'm like,
Bum,
Alexa,
bum,
stop.
bum, bum. Or is it just
So-
like a broom?
I genuinely don't know, but it gets me up
How does that wake you up?
because it does. Because it's a
I'm
horrible
going to
sound.
stop
It's like
and
the
go to sleep.
iPhone sound that just invokes fear and anxiety inside you. It reminds you of
Yeah.
GCSE exam time.
I find it mad how
Yeah.
sometimes you just wake up without like my alarm did not go off today, but I woke up like exactly when I needed to.
Mm.
My
Yeah.
body just was like, "You
It's
need to be
mental.
up now," and I know in my head
I
I'm
don't do
like,
that.
"I need to wake up."
Mm.
It's
I
weird.
know
not
that
the
with
time.
Karis being away and me probably having a hangover in the morning, not having an alarm on, I will still be awake at about 7:30, which is very shit.
Yeah, that is shit for you, mate.
That is more FIFA for me though, and I'll edit the podcast early. Before we move on to spoiler a triple album spotlight,
Damn.
we must apologise for the fact that it is not a quadruple album spotlight, and I'm going to leave this
Sorry.
apology.
I'm so sorry.
It's not sorry, mate. It's the big moon.
Oh,
They're
God.
huge.
Liam, do your best, please.
Do your best moon
We-
impression, please.
Ah.
Get your ass.
Am I doing an apology? Is that what you asked me to do? Sincere
Yeah,
apology?
mate. Sincere. Sincerity
We
is
here
scary.
at full. Shush. No. Sincere is Scary. Is that a song by the Shins, wasn't it?
Could I just ask
Caring
how
is scary.
you just pronounced the word sincerity?
Sincere, I said.
Oh, okay. Sincerity is Scary is a 1975 song, which you should know.
You
I've
should
never
know.
listened to 1975. We here at Fools on the Hill HQ would like to sincerely apologise and provide our deepest condolences to all listeners of this podcast, Dom, for our previous incorrect
Promise.
information giving.
It should be me doing
Promise.
this apology because I was the one who
Um,
said it. I was the one who said we're going to do.
We
4.
apologise on behalf of Yanni. He is being kicked from the podcast. Ejaculated. if
See you
will.
soon, Tay.
See you soon, Tay, baby. But we're not doing Big Moon. Get over it. We haven't got enough time. Deal with it.
So
Beautiful.
with that,
Pick your battles.
let's move on to a slightly less packed, but still mighty chunky triple album spotlight.
I'm going to pull my drink.
What a horrible sound that was.
Yeah.
Very guttural, that. Guttural. It was very guttural, that was. The 1975 boys, I don't know if have you ever heard of them?
Who?
Matthew Healy, son of Tim and Denise.
Can you name me
Ah.
one of their albums?
1975, probably.
No, can you name
Is
me
the
one of their
first album?
songs, please? One of their songs, maybe?
Chocolate.
No, you've ruined the joke, mate.
Fuck's sake,
Oh,
Liam.
you're such a prick.
Oh,
Jesus wept.
did you want me to say 1975?
Obviously.
I don't think it's not clear when you're trying to make some sort of joke.
I got it.
Because you do the same face all the time. They have a song called 1975.
What do you mean?
They've got a few songs called 1975. One of them.
Which
will
one's
be
your
goes on
favourite?
today. Second album.
Why would you not say that?
Oh, well, that wasn't clear, Callum. Stop
I didn't
setting me
even
up
get that
for
one.
these
I
stupid
didn't get that
jokes. And I know
Hate
it's the second one because I've listened to all their albums in anticipation for this new one.
This is brand new information.
Yes, I'm here.
Shock
Giving
on
you
my face.
fresh
On my one
breaking
face.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Yanni, that's you. You're sorting this out. Breaking news. You'll have that in post. On Friday, I listened to every 1975 album. Yes, you heard that right. Every 1975 album, including the acclaimed debut, The 1975. First track of which is called The 1975. I'm going to go through track by track.
Oh,
so just
no.
hold on. No, I'm only kidding. Yeah, that's the news really. I listened to it all. Questions?
Yes.
Why?
What would you rank them? Obviously, excluding the new one. What order would you rank them?
Okay, bear in mind I've only listened to them all once, okay? I probably listened to the first album once before, but,
Not according to
Um,
Twitter from 2013 or 14, whenever it was.
well, I said I like the song Chocolate. It's a good song. And so I have no, what's the word when you've
Preconceived.
rose-tinted glasses?
Oh.
No. Nostalgia. I have no nostalgia about any of this stuff, apart from a few of the tracks from the first album. I would rank it simply. Note on a Conditional Form is the worst album.
Too long.
It's as simple as that. It's just not good. That's the thing. The best album. You ready?
Yeah.
A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships.
Correct.
And then the other two albums, pretty equal, I'd say. Pretty solid albums. Debut and sophomore.
Fantastic. Do you have a favoured song of each of the records?
Oh, it's funny you should ask. Because no, I don't. I do actually. I added a bunch to my main big playlist. So if I can find that, which for some reason,
Your 3-day playlist.
That is high praise.
yeah. So if I could just quickly pull that up, I can tell you. Because again, I wasn't paying particular attention here. I was
Good.
letting it wash over me, as one does with the 1975. Now, I will tell you the ones I've added from each album.
Okay.
So from the 1975, the first album, I think this isn't. I think I've already added Chocolate and some of the other ones, Girls, before, but I added The City, which is one I didn't know. Let's
What?
run that one as
EP version's better.
well. Okay, well, I'll
Throwing it
trust
out
you on
there.
that. From I Like It When You Sleep because I can look at you in a bit of a freak kind of way. That album. Again, I haven't listened back to any of these tracks. But the 3 tracks I added from there were If I Believe You, The Ballad of Me and My Brain. I enjoyed
Love that one.
I remember liking
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
great.
And Somebody Else because that is a banger.
Yeah.
I
that is
listened
a
to the
banger.
ballad of Me
Slapper.
in My Brain while I was having a shit this morning.
Well, I love that.
Yeah.
And then from a brief inquiry into the relationships on the interwebs, I added Love It If We Made It.
Yeah.
It's
Slapper.
Not Living If It's Not With You. That was a single, wasn't it? If
It
it's-
was.
uh,
So was
It's
Love
Not
It If We
Living.
Made It.
Oh, okay. And you'll be happy to know, Carl, Sincerity Is Scary.
Wow.
I didn't add anything from the Notes album because why would I? Simple. I really found that whole album so convoluted, so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it really backed up all my opinions I had in 1975 prior to listening to their music. So I'm glad that through my journey where I thought, hang on, there's something here, they validated me at the end. So I've been right all these years, and there we go.
Yeah,
But I
there's
have
some
to say, it impressed me. I kind of get it a bit more now. I still think their fan base is insane. If you
Oh,
listen.
yeah.
Hey, what a great start to this. But you are insane. But I do think they're pretty alright musicians. And not all their songs sound the same. I've said that before. They don't. But they do have quite a lot of songs that do sound the same.
Mm. Yeah. In terms of Notes on a Conditional Form, I remember one of the earliest memories of this podcast I have was me slagging off independent record stores that put that on their album of the year list.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I agree.
I do like some of the tracks on it, but as a whole album, fucking hell, it was not good.
It was a slog. It was a real slog, that last
Yeah.
album.
I agree.
I really felt that. Like,
Completely
I was
agree.
like, that was when I was texting. I think that's when I told you I was kind of in the middle of doing something. Was when I was listening to that and I was thinking, I wish I could
Yeah.
just skip this last one.
Oh, yeah.
And I
you
was
said you were near
convincing
the end
myself
of
that
it.
you were having a child or getting married.
Yeah.
You're so dramatic. But that's the first one that gives gets away from the whole. What's the first 2 lines that they always say? Slow down,
Go down,
Soft
soft
sound.
sound.
go down, soft sound. Notes was the first one that got rid of that and got young Greta in, which was I think that was quite a powerful moment. But it's sad that they got rid of that starter because I think that's a cool idea,
I agree.
if not a bit
Um,
wonky. I
Well,
think
so-
that's 1975, isn't it? 1975, cool ideas, a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
I agree. Notes on a Conditional Form was the reason I didn't pre-order Being Funny in a Foreign Language on vinyl. And
Wow.
we are about to find out if I regret that decision or not, as we are about to
Oh.
review it.
So we are.
Well,
So we are.
well, that's it, isn't it?
The
That's
first-
it. We're right here. The
That's the
1975.
review. See you later.
That's it. We're done. Thanks for listening to the pod, everyone.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, we're
Thanks
reviewing
for the 100
as I
views
said,
on YouTube.
1975. All right, brilliant. I'll just.
So the first track is the 1975,
Jesus
somewhere we've
Christ.
not been before. Slow down, sweet sound. Was
Soft
that
sound.
That time? Soft sound. Isn't here on this. Got rid of it again, and you know they could have included it here. But this track, tell me about it, Jan.
Can I speak now without being interrupted?
I just
Fucking
said,
hell.
tell me about it.
Fucking hell.
Hot kettle.
Well, you'd know. I don't know. I thought this isn't a bad opener, to be honest with you. I was expecting slow turtle soft shell, but didn't didn't get that, and I didn't mind it. I think it's a good way to introduce the album, to be honest.
I completely agree. I really liked it. Music was very nice. I like the vocal melody. It was good. However, this does start a common theme on the album, which is a hell of a lot of dick talk. Just a hell of a lot.
I didn't notice that.
Well,
Lots of.
lot of
I
phallic
noticed
language,
today that the first line in part of the band talks about busting in someone's hand. It's literally the first line. There's a lot of dicks on this album, not just Matty Healy.
There are.
Bum, bum.
I mean, I can speak
My
for
cats are trying to open the
all
door.
of-
Sorry,
get a grip.
you're
Cats.
jumping up to the fucking handle.
Insane.
Bastards.
I think I speak for everyone here at Fools on the Hill podcast when I say we love dicks. So, this is a great start.
Up the
to this
god
album.
schlong.
Bring on the dicks.
Bring on the dicks.
That's coming
this
in
is a
the
great
teaser.
opener, I think. I was very happy when this started and sounded a bit like part of the band, the same sort of musicality elements.
Musicality.
And I think it's a great opener. Yeah, I think it's got a nice build to it.
Oh, brilliant.
Thanks.
You know what? You saying that really brings me happiness, Liam.
Does
Oh,
it?
what would you know? The next track is called Happiness. This song, and there's a couple of times this happens on this album, and I've not really listened to much of their other albums, so I could be talking about my house here. But this reminded me, I know you have, reminded me a lot of the first album in certain ways, which I do have fond memories of. That is my favourite album of theirs, but I've honestly not delved too deep into any of their others. The only problem I have with this is it doesn't need to be 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I agree. I do think this is one of the best versions of this song they've done, because I also agree it is very, very reminiscent of album 1 and album 2, especially in terms of the melody. I like the chorus a lot. Brass is a nice addition, and I still like the pre-chorus, the bit where he just says my thing. I said I like that when it was released as a single. Still like it now.
Yeah, this this is very reminiscent of the first couple of albums. The second album introduced a bit of synth. If anyone that's listened to all their albums would know, that kind of 80s style synth. This is a bit more like the first album, I would say. But the addition of things like the brass makes a big difference. And it's a solid melody that I understand why they've done it so many times, and this reinvents it nicely.
Lovely. Next one is called Looking for Somebody. I may have the wrong 80s song, but I put like Footloose vibes in the intro. This one was one that made me start to worry a bit, because it was on the line of being too much of the stuff that I don't like from them. But I put in a vacuum, I enjoyed this song.
Okay. I really like this song. I am a semi big fan of the 1975. But I too was worried that this was kind of going to be the blueprint for the album. I loved how fast paced it was, and I think his voice so far has sounded some of the best it's ever sounded.
Would you agree, Liam? You've heard it all.
I've heard it all. Well, there's a slight vocal effect on this song, isn't there? Am I right in saying that?
Probably.
Most
or he
likely.
sings it slightly different to the usual style, and I really like it. So don't know if I'd go as far to say it's the best he's ever sounded. I have listened to everything. So
Didn't say that.
I wouldn't say
Didn't
that.
say it's the
You pretty much
best he's
did
ever
say that.
sounded.
I think you pretty
I
much
feel like you
said
did.
that.
Those are the exact
Um,
words that came out of your mouth, Carl, to be honest.
Yeah, action replay and all that.
If you're going to paraphrase me correctly.
Nope. But I like the. I've lost my train of thought. I've lost my train of thought.
You can't do that album if you've never listened to it.
I like the. Sorry, I've realised what I want to say. It's got a nice, not wall of sound, but bowl. It's got a nice bowl of sound. I feel like I'm sat in a little bowl of sound. I like that. A lot of stuff going on. A nice brass again. His vocals are nice. I like the pace.
He loves pace.
I'm just looking for somebody to love.
Beautiful. Part of the band, I mean, can't really add much more to it. We were a fan of it when it was released. It's still great. Probably one of the best. One of the best. He phrased there. And it still surprises me that this has come from this band.
I agree. By your phrase there, Yanni, one of the best. Is that of their whole discography or from this album? Just so I can prepare myself.
He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. I would know.
Wow.
From this album.
Personally.
I think this is one of the best songs they've ever released. I just think it sounds really mature. I do wish they went
strong cheese.
Right, exactly. Thanks, Miles. I do wish they went down this route a little bit more on the album, and I just think Matty's lyricism is tip top. That final chorus / outro bit, is phenomenal.
As someone who's listened to it by 1975, I would co-sign on that comment. Callum, this is probably the best thing, one of the best things I've ever done, if not the best thing. And it's just, it gets me every time I listen to it. It feels like I hear something different each time. Feels like I kind of follow it in a different way, almost like I arrive at the end from a different journey. And I just think it's a stunning song. I'm doing the click your own adventure version of this song because that wasn't clear. But no, it's great. And the slower part reminds me a lot of like something Brockhampton would do, which I think's funny. I don't know why it's funny, but I find it funny because I'm a man of humour. So
okay, moving on. Oh Caroline, I've put this is a very good pop song. I wasn't really a fan of the vocal effect on his voice on this one. I feel like there's a couple of times, maybe in the past, where this vocal effect has been used, but in this one it stood out to me. And yeah, I can appreciate it being a good pop song, but didn't do too much for me.
Couldn't agree with you more, Johannes.
Thank you, Colin.
Definitely my least favourite so far, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. Just, yeah, didn't do much for me beyond that.
It's not doing bits.
It's not in the Do Bit Society.
Need to get a membership ASAP. I agree. This is probably the weakest so far for me. Quite reminiscent of the second album. I Like to Watch You Sleep, but somehow I've not been arrested yet. But it's quite of that cut from the same cloth, and it's the cloth that's been trodden on a lot. Food has been spilt on it. Cum stains, what have you.
Lovely. Brilliant. I'm in love with you. Don't fight over
God.
it.
Thank you
Don't
so much.
fight.
Yanni.
You both know.
You said it to me. I know. I saw
It's
you looking at
fine.
me.
It's equal.
We can be
No.
polyamorous. It's fine.
I'll be Polly and you're amorous. That line I mentioned before about them towing it on whether it's too much. This one crossed it for me. This was too much of like the 1975 that I don't like.
Yeah, maybe. It's annoyingly catchy though.
I can't remember it, so
Yeah, it's one of them earworm songs that is just gonna, maybe not for you if you can't remember it, but for me it's been floating around my head most of the day. Sounds nice. I just kind of want something different at this point.
Listen, boys, I'm here and I'm presenting mirrors, left, right, and centre. All right, just a little bit too cheesy for me. This one,
yeah,
a little bit too cheesy.
yeah.
I quite like it. I like that the sound is still quite coherent with some of the other tracks. Like that kind of, it's almost folky, isn't it? Like it's not synthy, and it's not just like electric guitars with the same tone on every song like the first album.
I don't want to interrupt you and make you sound like an idiot, but I believe it's pronounced folk. Folky.
Sorry, folky. Yeah, like Newton Faulkner. Yeah, that's where it came from. We all know that.
He invented folk music.
Folk.
Folk off. Thanks for being done with all comments, Liam. All I need to hear. I mentioned when we covered this as a single that depending on how the rest of the album went, I was either going to give this one a pass or I wasn't. And it gets a pass from me.
It gets a pass.
Oh, glowing.
Yeah. It works on the album and it comes at the right point. Just like me. Always coming on time.
Fucking tell me about it.
I Liam, pass us those mirrors, please, boy.
Passed.
Thank you.
How...
I think I did that the wrong way around.
Well, I need them back, so can you just pass them back, or
fuck off.
just awkward?
Oh, you've done that to me. No. Babe,
This.
go long.
What?
Yeah, there we go.
There is. No, this is all I need to hear. It's beautiful.
Thank you. The next song is called Wintering. I put, meh, this doesn't work for me. Don't know what it is. Just doesn't do it for me.
Shattering those mirrors so promptly.
Smashed.
I'm not sure how I feel about the kind of like meta opening where Matty is in the recording booth saying he should come straight in and then does.
I like that part.
Does that.
Mate.
I like that part.
Juan
Just the rest of
Mata.
it I don't like.
But I really, really like these faster ones. There's one in a bit. Maybe.
Hang on.
Maybe it's
hang
already
on.
been.
Hold your fucking
Who's
horse.
I think it might have. I think it might have already been. I wasn't going on to it.
Calm down, lad.
It was. I'm gonna edit that. I don't know. But I thought the lyrics were very, very funny in this one. Another good spotlight on Matty's lyricism. Spotlight in a spotlight.
Oh,
Meta.
beautiful.
Wow. I like the intro. I think it kind of works really well. The way it does exactly what it says is smart and it works very well.
Like Wix Paint.
And I like this track. I think it's. I didn't hear what he said then. Was it funny or should I just ignore it?
Yeah, that's why we're laughing, mate.
Oh. I'll listen back. It's a nice, short, snappy, and snappy.
Like a
I want to
cracker.
emphasise the snappy part of it.
Human 2, again, this one, unfortunately, was pretty meh for me. I've not really got anything else to add other than that, I'm afraid.
No, this is my least favourite track on the whole entire album. I was not remotely asked about what? I was not remotely asked about it. It went on far too long.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. I will say that I agreed with you on my first listen. However, earlier on, I had this playing in the background in one room while I was in another room, and I heard this song come on, and I really like the sound of it. Really like it. It really gets me in my feels. Vocals somewhat reminiscent of like a Bon Iver, and keys something like Loyal Klarna would have had on a track, on the first album or second album, whatever it was. I think it's a very nice. I think it's a very nice song. I definitely don't think it's the worst song on the album.
Well, from one of the worst to possibly my best, is About You. This is definitely one of my favourites. Nostalgic first album vibes from this, like Robbers kind of feel to it, because that hall of reverb kind of effect going on. The female vocals that are included, which is the guitarist's wife. Upon research, I thought I'll do a bit of research. That's what I found out. She doesn't do anything else. That's she's just been on this song. Because I thought it would be someone famous, but it wasn't.
Nah.
My only gripe, not grape, I'm not talking about making wine here. Gripe is that this probably should have ended the album.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll come on to the closer in a second. Maybe not. But yeah, no, I agree. It should have.
We will.
It was just very
I
emotional.
can confirm now we will.
Absolutely brilliant. Loved this track.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like this as well. I think the female vocals are great. I love the difference in the sound musically for this one. Don't love the effect on his vocals, if I'm being honest.
Common theme.
Whatever that is. Is that a common theme?
You said it at least once.
I said it for one other song, and it was a completely different vocal effect.
That's
So
common.
Let's not
theme
start
is
throwing
common.
words around, Can, that we don't know what they mean, and we can't stand by them. All right.
What was this word? Theme that you're throwing around.
But anyway, I like this, and I agree that it should have been the last song on the album.
Agreements.
Could have been.
Agreements. When We Are Together just like we are now, boys. I'm not a fan of the American enunciation of some of the words. That really just stood out to me in this song.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you because I can't remember. But I just remember listening to it and thinking, why is he saying the words this way? It's really annoying.
See, I remember I nearly wrote that down when I wasn't really listening to it properly. So then I started to focus in on it. And then he couldn't have really sounded any more mank if he tried. So I bailed on that point. But I'm glad you thought that as well, because there was definitely parts where I thought he sounded American.
Brains. But then just to be positive, the strings that come in towards the end are delightful.
Delightful indeed. I thought this was a lovely ender. Completely understand about you being probably maybe a better choice, but it did the job well. Loved the melody, and it's just overall a really good track.
Yeah, I think it's very nice. I didn't notice the Americanizations in his pronunciation, but
you clearly weren't listening then, were you silly boy?
I don't listen. I don't listen to words. I don't know if you've never
on
noticed
to the next one already. But okay, he's crack open another can.
Might go and get a third one.
Calm's on his own. Whoa!
I just spilled.
He's going to be wanking tonight.
Just spilled everywhere.
The cats are in bed. I bet.
Yeah, they're fucking trying to open the door, the little freaks.
Right, calm down about the cats, Callum.
Fucking hell.
I'm trying to do an earnest music review here, and you're being a little prick about it.
Go on, be earnest.
Gorgeous.
important.
It's gorgeous. It's a good open. It's a good closer. It worked very well. I'm being earnest. Anyway, that's a 1975.
What?
They've released another album. They're not from 1975, as confirmed on Chicken Shop Date with Amelia de Moldenberg, with Matty Healy, whose name Matty doesn't suit him. I've decided, and I only recently I'm going off on a tangent here. I only recently realised that he was from Manchester.
Yeah.
As in, like just after the album was released, and when I saw just a random video online of him speaking, it really threw me off. Really threw me off.
What were we expecting? Some sort of like
Just
posh boy southerner.
Just a southerner, yeah. And yeah, so it really did throw me off.
It threw him off. Right, we're not going to rate them because
well, we
are going to rate them. We are going to rate them. We're just not going to average it.
Who do you think you are?
Stop saying that. Averages are not going to be happening. Callum, tell me your rating, please.
Well, I think this is a very good album overall. There's a few songs that I wish would do more. Overall, I think it does what it's trying to do very well. And it's the most cohesive record they have released, definitely since the first. So I think this is a generous score, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Thank you, Callum. I'm Liam. My score has increased. A common theme this over the last few weeks, but upon listening and discussing with you guys, my score has changed and increased.
Such a sheep.
Spoiler alert. Nothing. It's not nothing to do being a sheep. Because I don't care what you have to say. I'm a man of my own mind. And I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Thank you, sheep. Well, it's funny you should mention changing your opinion, because before I heard you two spell your thoughts, I thought I was being too generous. Also, so I'm also going to give it, believe it or not, an 8.
Wow.
888 Angel.
888. I agree, Cal. It is probably the most cohesive, and I've not listened to any of the others. So, yeah, I think there's only one part for me where I just feel like the song isn't necessary, but like the rest of them do add to it. So yeah, very well done, 1975 and Co. Do this more often.
You got some new fans here.
Nah, well,
Yanni, listen to A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships.
I'll make a brief inquiry into it. And of course, that is our review of 1975's album, Being Funny in a Foreign Language. What foreign language? I'll leave it up to you. Skullcrusher. Imagine your skull being crushed.
Don't need to.
Happen regularly, does it?
Been there, done that.
We're going to cover them next. It's the song Quiet the Room. And even just saying that, I wanted to laugh thinking about Liam saying
Quiet thy room.
I have absolutely zero recollection of this.
I went through our teasers just to find it today, and it made me laugh out loud. It made me lol. We're going to cover this album right now, so strap on in, okay? Because there's plenty more to come after this. So, first song, They, not Thy, mistake I made the first time. They quiet the room. This word is it's going to be used quite a lot. Beautiful.
Oh.
Rather, I think I look pretty.
Is it
Return
of the Maya Hawke review, perhaps?
Return of the Maya. Yeah,
Once again. It is for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful opener. Yeah.
Yeah. In the same way we half struggled to review the Maya Hawke record, I can smell that happening again, particularly on my half or third.
I don't want to spell your half.
Lovely vocals, great opener to thy record.
I see what you did there, mate.
Smart like Carl, fair play, mate.
What are you doing? Have you got anxiety or something? What the fuck's
I was taking
happening?
a breath.
What's going on with you?
What are you doing with that string?
I'm just to keep myself occupied because I'm fucking bored.
Rude.
I think this. I'm joking. It sounds very nice. It's a very nice opener, and I like the build up towards the end. Although that sound, the very end, it's like I don't know how to, like a rattle sound almost. It kind of appears throughout, and I'll point out when it happens again. Not a fan of that sound. Actually, sounds a bit like I'm listening to it now. A violin just kind of scratching the bow on a violin.
Yes, I mean, because I've just heard it.
Thank you. But I really do like the chord progression in this song. It's a very pretty chord progression. But there's something about the vocals I don't love in this one, if I'm being honest. Something about one of the harmonies.
What?
Isn't quite right for me. Just one of the harmonies somewhere in there. But yeah.
Thank you, Dean. That was there was a lot more said there than I anticipated. Building a swing. I'm sorry to be really dull. I thought this was a beautiful track again. Before we get to it, because you'll know when it gets to it, this album suffers a lot from sounding quite similar throughout. And there is a clear point where it should have ended and doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it's going to be us going, yep, beautiful, yep, sounds pretty, yep. So apologies for when that happens.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to save this point for the end, but I think it's apt to say it now. In isolation, every one of these songs would be fantastic. I think. Or at least good. But it is too much of the same, which is definitely something I thought as well. Building a swing, I really liked the vocal effect. I liked the whooshing of the water in the background. That added quite a fair bit in my earphones. And I thought the strings were lovely.
I think I would describe it as liking it rather than loving it. And I want to make that distinction without adding any more words. And I hope you understand what I mean by that.
Yeah.
But it does sound very nice. It does end again with an annoying sound. Already 2 songs in a row with an irritating kind of outro that's not needed. Just end the song and play the next one. You know, you're not caught in. Don't start adding glitches and shit. But I did like the song. I liked the way the kind of the whooshing went away for like the second half of the song. I like that kind of different juxtaposition, if you will. Bingo.
There it is.
That's the first time in a few weeks we've said that word.
There it is.
Yeah, bringing it back from dead.
Bingo.
Dream Bluff.
I'm going to save that because he's never going to say that again. Moving on to the next track, Whatever Fits Together. This is the first single.
Yes.
And it's still phenomenal. It's one of my favourite tracks of the year. And like a silly little boy that I am, I hadn't listened to this in a couple of weeks, in fact. So when it played again and it came on, that's what happens when you play the song. I remembered immediately how good it was, and I've noted down. I'm such a fool for not listening to this more.
Yeah. I don't often remember where I hear songs for the first time. However, I will always remember I was emptying the shop in Chester. I was very, very stressed. And I saw this notification on YouTube come up. And I was like, oh, go on then. And I had to sit down. Genuinely had to sit down because it's fucking beautiful. I love everything about it. I agree with Yanni. It's one of my favourite songs of the year. 2, vocals are beautiful. Buzzword. It just feels like heavenly. Just makes me feel a lot of things. All positive.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. It reminds me, there's something about the vocal melody reminds me of another song, and I can't place whether that's Phoebe Bridgers or Alex G or Elliott Smith, but I feel like that says enough.
Yeah. All the good people that you want to be compared to, really.
Yep.
Whistle of the Dead. This is a transition song, really, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Unless anyone wants to add anything more than it's a nice transition song, I think we'll just move on.
I hated it.
It's not a nice transition song.
It was the piano was nice, but there was some sort of scream crying thing that made my bum clench. I hated it.
Oh my god!
It's not a crying thing.
Well, it was some sort of
weird, some vocals that sound like a baby.
Maybe that's what it was.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't like it either, particularly. Like the piano was kind of nice, but overall, it's just a bit like.
Why?
If it was maybe further into the album, possibly, but I don't know. I didn't like it where it was.
Interesting.
I like the sound of the crickets though. Cricket's nice.
Rickety.
Love a good cricket.
Rickety, yeah. Lullaby in February. Lovely. Can't speak. Guitar riff. Although I like the song, it didn't need the stupidly long intro even. What have I put here? My words are so confusing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I despite the fact it's called Lullaby in February, I wasn't expecting a literal lullaby. Sounded lovely, but I was just a tad bit bored. I just again feel like I just need more, and that goes in hand with the fact that everything sounds the same. Sadly,
I actually really like the simplicity of this one. I think this is one of my favourites so far that wasn't well fits together. And I really like that kind of whatever that deep space sound is. I feel like this is what space sounds like at the end. That very
space actually doesn't have any sound because it's a vacuum, mate.
Wow.
So
incredible.
Sorry to break it to you.
Goddamn bitch. But I really like this track, to be honest. I don't think it works after an interlude. So after Whistle of the Dead seems strange. I can imagine an interlude after this before you get back into it, kind of thing. But
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Point well made, Liam.
Thanks.
Pass Through Me is the name of the next track. I put, oh my god, the part where the strings and everything comes in on the build up. Keyword ascended.
Oh wow! Do you know what?
In my pants.
Do you know what? Yeah. The whispered vocals in the background did it for me. Not in a weird way, just in a sonically pleasing way. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I love the song. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Breathtaking. Inspiring. Terrifying. Gorgeous.
Could it be the way I look at everything? Question mark. I feel like this album does a good job of putting the shorter songs where they are. Maybe to go off your comments, they're maybe not in the right place. These shorter songs, maybe they could be swapped around in some places. But I feel like it does a good job of having the shorter songs where they are. Because it definitely needs a break up even though a lot of the songs aren't even that long because they're slower, more mellow, melancholy. That's how you pronounce that word.
No, it's actually melancholy.
That sounds like an Italian shot.
No, the melancholy.
Yeah, if it didn't have these little breaks, I feel like the album would suffer more than it did. Now, I wrote those words before I'd come to near the end, where obviously I felt like the album goes on for far too long. But I agree with my statement at the time that they're in the right place. These short songs like this one is.
I'm not so sure, Yanni.
Oh, I'll kill myself then.
This was an interlude, right? I'm not the way Yanni's.
It's only 37 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a long.
I am. This is not a dig at Skullcrusher, Helen Ballantyne. This is not a dig at you. I am sick of interludes that just do niche. It's nice enough to listen to, but what is the point? An interlude should go to take you from one track to another, or just have a reason for being there.
Well,
this album would not be worse.
You got to allude.
This is a good opportunity for a debate because I would normally agree with you. However, I don't know what it was about this album, but I feel like that didn't bother me. I just felt like I needed something that was shorter as a bit of respite. But normally, yeah, I agree with you. Unless like the song is a transition piece that works between A and B or A and C, and that's the transition is B. I don't agree with it. I feel like it's a waste of time. Why have you done this? It's just a jarring bit of music that I have to listen to now. But with this, maybe I was just listening to it in a different way. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't really
through your ass.
Yeah, I played it full volume into my anus.
Got a vibrating egg.
I opened my mouth,
feel the vibrations.
Over the microphone, and then I plugged it into my speakers, and so I was hearing it in all orifices. You know.
Nice.
But yeah, it didn't bother me that much. So you know, Liam, what have you got to say?
I actually just didn't remember this track at all from previous listen. I'm listening to it now. I still no recollection whatsoever.
You don't remember listening to it right now?
What are we talking about? And like it sounds nice, but it sounds nice. I as I say, it didn't imprint any kind of imprint on my brain upon as an album listen. And so I don't really have much more to say than that.
Okay, we're getting into the point of the album now where I start losing interest. Outside playing, it was nice enough. And it works well towards the end, transitioning into the next track, which we'll cover shortly. But other than that, I don't feel like I really care. I'm starting to... The graph is... It's a very steep decline at this point.
I completely agree, mate. I do like what the music is doing, but a 2-minute instrumental after a 30-second interlude is bonkers.
Bonkers. I really wanted Liam to do that because I feel like it would have worked well, but he didn't do it.
Bonkers. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't really that well.
You can just
disappointment all around, mate.
Insert that in. It's not me next. Is it me next? Oh yeah, it's me next.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is ludicrous. You're right.
Luda.
That's what he says. Not ludicrous. Why would they say ludicrous? That's not a good tag.
It's just his name.
Liam. Outside playing, I think, is spectacular. I think it sounds phenomenal, beautiful, gorgeous, delightful, and I think an instrumental is a really nice idea on this album. I think it actually comes at a really good place for me, personally, in my body. Except for it being after an interlude. That is an issue. That is Luda.
Not a perfect place.
All that.
Oh, brilliant. Moving on. It's like a secret.
It's like...
Brilliant. Like the way it breaks apart at the end.
Yes, I do too. The vocal effect, very good. Glitchy sound to round it off was very nice. However, I too am losing concentration a little bit.
However.
I definitely was fading out of consciousness at this point when I listened to it previously. I am still conscious now,
And then-
just about. If you look into, I think I'm still alive.
Is there?
Give myself
Back
a
in the room.
pinch. And listen to it now. It's a very nice song. I'm gonna have to listen to this album again because first time fatigue, trademark that. But it's a very nice song. The chords are beautiful. And I like a lot of the kind of background noises that I can't place what they actually are. Maybe string or something. But the breaking apart at the end, it just still doesn't feel warranted. I don't know. I still don't like what they're going for. Like the same with some of the earlier tracks. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Sticker. Next track. Like the
Sticker?
part with
I hardly even
her...
know her.
Liam,
Yeah.
can we just take a brief interlude in this album review?
Yeah.
Just
Another one.
You're doing the Lord's work this episode, mate.
You are.
You're making my tummy hurt. It's one
I
of
mean,
your. You have
to
a
be
good
fair to
episode
you,
every 4, and this is the one.
You've come a long way since the early days of recording, where you were so shy. Your voice was quivering.
Consummate professional from the beginning.
No, wasn't the case.
Fact check
Sticker,
it, bitch.
I like the part with the oohing, but that was all I had to say because at this point, oh fucking hell, I forgot the track on. Christ. Apart from that though, I clearly couldn't care any more about this album because that's all I had to say about the song.
Yeah, I thought the vocals were particularly good in this one, but the music / structure of the track needed to do a bit more.
Yes. Kind of agree. Mirrors.
Whoa. Window somewhere. Nope, it's not a window, it's a mirror. Ha 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 ha. Window somewhere is the name of the track that we're going to cover. Unnecessary breath that scared the fuck out of me. Don't know about you two. So loud. That's my first point. And then about halfway through, when it starts picking up, I really liked it. However, I wish the guitars weren't so crackly. It just sounded like the recording of it is not good, or it was good, and then they purposely edited it so it sounds rough. And it not in like the rest of the album way where I accepted it. This just sounds not nice.
Yeah. I completely agree with you about the breath. First time I listened to it, I was on the Mersey rail, so I was,
on edge already.
Bum clenched as I was. But this song, exactly. This song picked it back up for me. I actually think I was around Green Lane as well, which is fucking booky.
Booky. Never.
I used to love Green Lane. Loved going through Green Lane. Full stop.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, or can I carry on?
In regards to this song, or to you
Green Lane.
On Green Lane? Green Lane. No, I just liked it.
Oh, brilliant! I like the synth sound that came in midway through the guitar before the guitars came in. Despite this sounding quite similar, it just seemed to do more than some of the latest tracks. I think there was a bit of a kick drum subtly in the background, which was a new thing on the record.
Just a bit of a kick
additional
drum?
Instrumentalization, as Liam used to say.
It's a real word. I agree. When it picks up, this song is very, very nice. Again, I don't like the boomy ending on this one. Which one did I say I did like it on? Outside Playing?
I don't know.
No, it wasn't. It was earlier
ago.
than that. Lullaby in February, wasn't it? But yeah, I don't appreciate it on this one. I think the intro is too long and boring. But guys, I'm gonna have to just break away from the mold here and say I love that breath. It's been a thing for me for a long time now that breathing really wakes me up. Really keeps me alive. Keeps me motivated to the grind.
Beautiful.
Nice. I just feel like I want to cover the last 3 songs in one go now.
Go ahead.
So those last
Why
3
not?
are, in brackets, Secret Instrumental.
Not
end
very
brackets,
secret.
Quiet the Room and You Are My House. The first 2 that I mentioned there are nice enough. However, just unnecessary. And unfortunately, I felt like the final song, You Are My House, just goes out on a whimper. And that's it. Thank you.
Secret instrumental. It's not so secret. And do the ooze actually take away from it being an instrumental? Although the
I
voice
said
is
before
an
that it's
instrument.
not so secret. You can't say something I've already said, Callum.
Callum, that's such a good point that you've made there, Callum.
Thank you. That is proof in the pudding that I do not listen to Liam because I have to listen to him on the edit. Quiet the Room. I like the piano. I kind of wish that I hadn't heard it before, as I think it would have had more of an impact in terms of the album. I liked it, but it was a tad bit boring. Could have been a closer. Don't know. You Are My House. I really liked this one. I thought the melody in the vocals was more enjoyable rather than them just sounding ethereal. I think it would have been a good single, and it was one of what it stood out to me on the record. I think it's because of the different vocal style.
Hello, Callum. Yeah, no, I haven't got much to say about Secret Instrumental or Quiet the Room. Secret Instrumental, not so secret, eh? You Are My House, however.
Why is this copying what Carl said?
Thou Art Thine House, I did enjoy, but I do agree that it kind of puffs off at the end. But up until the end, it's a very nice track, and I think it's a great ender. It just didn't end well. Shame.
Oh, do you know what?
Skull-
Somehow
I'm
I
so
got, somehow I
confused by your
got that.
comment. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all.
It
Do you want me
is
to- no, we'll leave it
time
there.
to rate the album.
Rate me.
I am going to give it a 7 because of what I like. I really like. I just think it could have done with some fine tuning, which that fine tuning would have made it an 8 or a 9 or a 10, depending on how fine that tuning was.
Callum, you've come on so well with your maths since we've done this podcast. I'm so impressed.
Honestly, I try.
Well
Mr.
done.
Hibbert, Tim Hibbert would be proud.
Timo.
He would be. I don't think
Well,
he would. I think
mate.
there's no joy in his soul, that man.
Oh,
No,
do you know what? As I got older, Mr. Hibbert was one of my favourite teachers because I understood that man on some sort of cellular level where I was as miserable as him, and he used to say things that just made me want to piss. He was
To be
so
fair,
funny.
looking back, I do get it. I do get
Yeah.
it looking back.
Year
now, but I
7,
really hated him.
hated him. Year 11, one of my favourites. What a man. Tash as well.
Used to
He didn't
butt
like you,
heads.
did he?
Me or Liam?
Me-
No, Liam. He didn't like Liam.
Like, everyone loved me.
Really? Yeah, we just
no,
never
he
got
didn't.
on.
He hated
Um,
Liam for some reason.
he hated me.
Always used to.
And I don't mean to be big-headed, but I was the best at maths in our year. And
Wow.
yeah.
I saw them rulers you ate.
shrinking at them words.
no, I was. The proof is in the pudding at the high school. GCSEs, fact. I don't know. I haven't verified that, but I assume. That's
What did you
true.
get?
I got an A star, but
that's
I don't know
boring.
what actual score was. However,
Just an A
yeah,
star.
the man hated me. He really did hate me, and I used to hate him back, and so we didn't get very far.
Do you know what? Do I hate you,
oh,
mate?
sorry.
My theory. He saw the potential that he no longer had.
Yeah, probably.
Those are probably the nicest words I'm ever going to say about you, mate.
He
So I'm
thought
going to give this album
that
a
man is
7.
going to live my dream of working in an arcade.
Piss off. I'd worked in the arcade already. He was jealous that I'd had that opportunity in my life and squandered it because I had further avenues. I'm a man of business. 7 out of 10 I'm giving Quiet the Room, for anyone still listening regarding the album.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yanni?
6.
Oh,
I say
I thought you were waiting for us to like introduce you the way you were like doing your hands.
Oh, I was thinking. I'm going to give it 6. So thank you for listening to us divert from the normal review of Skullcrusher with the album Quiet The room.
Before we
interrupt me like that,
before we
because
cut
I
there-
can't cut it nicely, you prick.
No, you can cut off this. Big respect to Tim Hibbs. If you're listening. I know he's a fan.
Big up Tim Hibbs. Also, just before we do finish, I would like to thank Skullcrusher, Helen, for creating Storm in Summer, which is still and will always be one of my favourite songs of all time.
Skullcrusher.
Skullcrusher, everyone. Beautiful.
Cut.
Oh, boys. We're finally here. It's the last album we have to review.
Do we have to?
We have to do it now. I mean, I've not made all these notes to not review it. Of course, we're talking about Red Hot Chili Peppers' Return of the Dream Canteen.
Once again.
Send it back.
Oh my God. I'm going to apologise on behalf of all of us, I think, for how this may end up. Very quickly end up.
One for the Range Boys.
I might definitely. What? Hopefully not.
We'll see.
We'll see.
So we're going to start by talking about the first track. Obviously, why would we not? Tipper My Tongue. Funky Funk. This is the single we've heard. At this point, I'm glad to hear it. However, we'll see how that continues.
Would you say it's the best song on the album so far?
Definitely the best so far.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
Go
on.
What'd you say? You wouldn't?
Yeah, it was a joke, but you know.
Landed. Good track. I think it's quite nostalgic for old Rahakapa, but not necessarily good Rahakapa. But it is good Rahakapa for the modern Rahakapa. Honestly, I think this is the best song I've ever heard in comparison to Unlimited Love.
Oh, okay.
Good save.
Really
Good save.
Got me there, yeah.
I think this is something, I might as well throw this point out here now. I like to do this, make comments about the whole album, at the first song. And that is that a lot of these tracks, including this one, as Callum was alluded to there, definitely pull very clear elements from previous songs, in my opinion. Now, they're not so clear that I can tell you what they are. Don't be mistaken, okay? Don't be silly. But you know what I'm saying. But this song does it very well, and it also adds some nice new unheard elements. I really like the yeah. I like that part. That's fun. Fun to sing along to. Bass is great. It's a good starter. And like Yanni, you said, you know, I'm set up. I'm ready now. I'm anticipating something good.
Piece of Love, the name of the next track. Shut up, Liam. The harmonies in the chorus are gorgeous, and it was an interesting solo from Frusciante on this one.
I can't remember, Yanni, because this is the second track and I'm already a little bit bored. Lost interest on this track.
Jesus Christ.
It does pull back, but this track itself...
It pull back the foreskin of life.
You have to. Got to remain clean.
Chop it off is what I say. Peace and love, as Ringo once correctly
Friend of the
said.
pod, Ringo Starr. Best hair in the game.
Ringo.
So real.
It's unreal. It's so real. It's unreal.
So real.
You know.
Peace and love, Liam.
What am I going to say about the song?
I think this is one of the best choruses they've done in a while.
Yeah.
I really like this
That's
chorus.
fair. I really like Frusciante's playing on this as well. It feels very considered, very thought out, very kind of by the way either of kind of, or maybe start Stadium Arcadian more like. What are you laughing at, Yanni?
That horrible noise your microphone just made.
Can you please check Audacity?
I mean, it's looking fine. Maybe it did a peak somewhere, but I can't scroll back while it's playing. So
it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's always when you speak though, so I can never edit it out.
Brilliant. Never mind.
Well, that's helpful.
Reach Out is the name of the next track. I just thought this is just a bit weird, isn't it? The heavy part doesn't work at all. There's another song that is heavy that we'll come to in about 10 years. That just it doesn't work at all, in my opinion.
Your opinion is valid,
Thank
but it does not
you.
align with mine. I agree.
Oh.
Well, it does. I agree that it doesn't really work in terms of the song, but I think it's the best part
How's it work
of the
then?
song.
What?
I can't stress this enough.
I'm so confused.
Hated.
What does that mean?
The verse melody, hated it.
Hated.
But I prefer the heavy part, and I would have liked if that was just the thing that happened without the other bit. Doesn't work in terms of the song, but that part in isolation, you know?
No, so lost.
What's the song I'm thinking of? It's I can't find it. John Frusciante, backing vocals. Is it at the end of By the Way? Anyway, this song reminds me of that one.
You okay, mate?
You know, I can't remember the words are, but the vocals are like and then like a John Frusciante squeal, and the bass is like reminds me of that song. I can't place it. It also reminds me a bit of
Crazy
Throw Away Your
Frog?
Television. What was that, Yanni?
Crazy Frog?
No.
No, not that one.
No, he was never part of
Okay.
Chili Peppers. I don't think.
You sure?
And yeah, but no. I feel like this song should have been later on the album. Reminisce of a song such as that made no sense, that sentence, but you know what I'm saying. Throw Away Your Television towards the end of By the Way. It's got a similar sort of vibe to me as that. I think it's a strange placement on the album.
Vibes.
However, I do like the track.
What?
I think it's alright.
Moving on. Eddie, one of the other singles we've covered. Still very good. Probably definitely a high point in the album. Because there's fucking not many of them. Yeah. Interesting song, and it's good to know that they can still make songs that hit like this.
Yeah, bob on. We said
Eddie,
when
mate.
we covered it a couple of weeks ago, well, I did anyway, this is the best track they've released in a number of years.
He's quoted himself. He's
In
made
my
it.
opinion.
I agree. I think the song is wonderful. I enjoy listening to it every time I listen to it. It really just like very, very well thought out, and a high point for this album. I agree.
Whoa.
The high point.
Fake as. I'm sorry, I just need to double check this. When the funk guitars come in, it really elevates the track, man. And that bass line slaps harder than a pimp. You know, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised that how much this song kept me interested. I was not anticipating that 5 songs into this album, especially after the second song. Good melody, just decent track, decent.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm trying to find out what the other song was that I was singing earlier. So I'm not keeping up. Fake is what we're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I remember thinking this one was maybe the start of the decline for me on this album. Although
So
the
early on.
elements I like,
12 songs left.
Yeah, I like the I like the difference between first and second half. I think that's pretty good. Some good bass playing and stuff as well. But it's alright.
Nice. My next couple of songs, I really haven't got much. So it's Bella, next one. Typical tune that I'd expect from this era of Chili Peppers, to be honest with you. And I'm just going to say it now. Roulette was very forgettable.
Yeah, Bella, I liked that one. The chorus was very good. But that is in comparison to recent Chili Peppers, I say that. I think his voice sounded good. Roulette in isolation, I like it, but I'm getting very bored now. I didn't think there was anything wrong with the song. This, do you know what? We shouldn't do it this way, but that applies for My Cigarette, Afterlife, Shoot Me a Smile, and Handful. So
Well, we
I'm
shouldn't
out
do
for
it
the
that way.
next 13
Great.
minutes.
That's great.
Oh.
I agree with pretty much all these sentiments, really. I think they're just pretty fine songs. And it's interesting to me that I kind of realised at the end of this album is that there's actually a very clear sound for the new version, the latest era of Chili Peppers, which is weird. Which is that it's just a what's the phrase you use? Hodgepodge.
Yeah.
Hosh. It's just like a bit of throw everything in a stew kind of thing, chili pepper stew. But it does sound unique in a way. But I think it's mostly the vocals that have got their own uniqueness to them in these last couple of albums. And that is very clear in the next song.
Oh,
My
are we talking about
Cigarette.
My Cigarette? Oh my god. Can I just say, this song is so fucking annoying. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Also, those electronic drums are so jarring. Like, there's no need for them to be on this. If I was to try and claw anything back for the band, I put whatever the woodwind brassy instrument thing is. I like that. I like that sound. There's a couple of points where there's a bit of brass going on in the album, which I feel like always works. But the rest of this track is one of the worst things I've heard.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, no, this is where the vocals, like I just alluded to, but not long ago at all. If you've lost where I was talking about that, you're not paying attention. But this is just not. I'm just not into the way he sings this song at all, and the hook is very irritating. But yeah, I agree. The woodwind brass, whatever that is at the end, is very nice. It's a waste.
Yeah. I'm trying to speed through this, to be honest, because there's really not that much interesting things that's going on. In fact, both my next comments start off the same way. So, Shoot Me a Smile, Handful.
Afterlife.
Some interest. Oh, sorry, Afterlife. Well, I've not talked about it because I've just put meh, and I thought the solo wasn't even that good. Normally, the solo, is a good point in these songs, but I thought it wasn't even that great.
The only thing that stood out to me was the solo, and I think that's because it's the first time it's happened.
Bitch.
I'm not saying it's the greatest. It's just nice to hear him do some sort of solo, which I don't feel like has happened in this album so far.
Did you listen to Eddie?
Yeah, sorry, popping maybe Eddie. Yeah. I'm thinking of like the newer tracks. But the bass that's played under the solo, what are you doing that for?
They're all new.
Yeah, well, of the non-singles, shut up. But on Afterlife, I like the mixture of that solo sound and the bass underneath. I think that was a nice kind of playful. Anyway, all right,
brilliant. Shoot Me a Smile, Handful. Interesting guitar parts, and the choruses on these were passable. Not really got anything more to say about those tracks. Have you, boys?
Just generally dull and forgetful.
Yeah, and then
forgettable. Sorry, not forgetful.
The drummer, the bass is great in this. That really stood out to me. My only criticism is that Anthony's vocals are really bad during the verse. Like throughout this album, you can tell where the auto-tune has helped. But in this, the verses don't have that correction to them, and there's some really flat or sharp notes depending on where you are in the verse. And that just seems really weird. When everything else was like, the vocals were so, edited on the other ones, this one wasn't really, and it just made it worse.
Fair enough. I did like the melody of the vocals, though. That was good. Okay. Bass is great, as you said. I was very happy that there were some new sounds going on in this track. Kind of piqued my interest. Couldn't tell you what those sounds are because I didn't write it down.
Cool.
This was a high point on this record for me. Not necessarily a compliment.
For me, I like the elements of the song. I like the verse, the chorus, but I don't like the song. Does that make sense? I don't know how else to describe that. I just don't think the song itself is good. But when I listen to the verse and the chorus in isolation, it's not even that they don't go together. I just think then the full package doesn't quite work. I don't like John's guitar sound on it. Like not solo, but it's kind of just like a running riff through the song. Don't like it. It sounds very like something like, I feel like Van Halen, possibly, but I feel like that's wrong. What I actually mean is like Sonic the Hedgehog music, or like Dragon Force or something. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Next track is Bag of Grins. Honestly, what the fuck is this? Is what I've put. This is the other heavy track that I thought was just weird and didn't need to be in this land of listening.
Well, I would absolutely love to share my thoughts on this track with you all. However, I have not made notes on it, so didn't know it was here. Clearly forgettable.
For some reason, I listened to this song in like 3 parts just because like something in work kept bothering me. And for that, and the fact that it was quite long, I felt like the longest song I've ever heard in my life. And I think part of that is just because it's bad. It's a bad song.
Yeah.
And it goes on too long. And yeah, not good. Not good. Not good.
Next track, I've got to make sure I get this right. La 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 la.
Yeah, la.
Is the name of the next one. I put, what a surprise this track was, to be honest. I like this one. I was intrigued by it when it started because of the synthy sound that's got going on, different. My criticism was that I thought the actual la vocal parts were unnecessary. It could have just been filled with other instrumentation, maybe a bit of like guitar riffage going on or something, or a bit more of an interesting synth riff. Because otherwise it's just annoying him going la 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 la. The horn was a lovely addition, and I've put very generously on here probably one of my favorite Chili Pepper songs in a while.
Wow.
Well, Yanni, I've written down that this was the first one on the album I've actively not liked.
What?
But that may have been because I was so bored. And I was just in that mindset where I was going into it thinking, oh, fucking hell, there's more. So maybe I'll listen to this one on its own and see if I agree.
I like this song. It really stood out to me as well, Yanni. And I think it's really nice, and I think it's a massive shame it's on this album. Because it actually does it disjustice. I'll say both. One of them will be right. Because I didn't like it on the album because it just doesn't fit at all. So it's just like, what is this? But listening to it in isolation, there's a lot of isolated listening this week. It's actually a really nice track.
Beautiful. Copperbelly. I put, if there was less songs on this album, I would have enjoyed this more.
Victims of their own downfall. Yeah, not bad, but very samey. As I've said, I am bored.
This isn't the promising sign. Liam Godfrey, are you there?
No, same. I am here. Yeah, I'm here. Yes, hi. Yeah, no, same. Same. Ready.
Okay. And next track, Carry Me Home, I actually put the same comment. I put, if there wasn't as many tracks, I probably would have liked this more as well. Don't know if anyone's got anything more to add to that, really.
I put 2 words, 0 recollection.
Beautiful.
That was while I was listening to it.
I can't recollect this.
Am I right in saying that this one kind of followed on nicely from Copperbelly? In a way?
You could be.
wasn't really paying attention, and I feel like it came onto a second part of that Copperbelly song that I wasn't enjoying, and I went into a part that I enjoyed, but actually I realised they were two separate songs. But it's forgettable. Fucking hell, I keep saying that word.
God.
Forgettable still.
And then the last track we have is In the Snow. And just what a fucking weird way to end this album. I mean, the drums are more or less a direct copy of some other 80s song. I can't recall what the name of that is. Sorry, so that's not an interesting comment to make. But they are. And just considering there's one other track on this which has electronic drums, the fact they're choosing to end this album with a song that's like that is so stupid.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I liked the spoken word element.
Oh, yeah,
good.
that's another thing I fucking hate. Spoken word, back again. Why are people doing this? Stop doing spoken word at the end of the albums. Stop it.
Do you know what this reminds me of? An interlude from a Eminem album. That's what I kind of just kind of like take it back, and he's just got a few things to say before we get on to the next beating some woman up. Allegedly. But I kind of liked it. In parts. And I did like the last chunk of it. Instrumentally, kind of as he was doing his last Slim Shady impression. I enjoyed the end part of it. But generally, yeah, I agree it's a strange old way to finish an album.
And now we have reached that time where we must rate. And rate we shall do.
Before we do, can I have your overall thoughts on whether or not you preferred this album to Unlimited Love, the album Red Hot Chili Peppers released earlier in the year? And I'm going to back it up with some figures. See if your thoughts are true and align with your rating.
I probably will.
Don't think I listened to Unlimited Love all the way through. If I remember correctly, you two did most of the reviewing of that. And that was partly because what I did listen to had nothing in it that made me want to carry on listening to the whole album. So considering I did listen to this whole album, I want to say, yeah, this is better.
Okay.
Just quick note, I've only got 2 minutes of recording left. I definitely, from what I remember, I definitely prefer this to Unlimited Love. Yeah.
Okay.
From what I remember, I've not revisited it though.
I agree. I'm going to give this album a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
I haven't thought about scores up until this point. This is interesting. I think a 5's absolutely adequate. Yeah, I don't think it's much less than a 5, but it's definitely not more.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 5.
Wow.
They'd be better if they'd stop releasing so many tracks. If they combined Unlimited Love's 2 good songs as well as the good songs that were on this album,
They'd
just
have a
into
4-track
one
EP.
piece of, into an EP, it would be amazing. We'd be singing the praises.
Before we
Unfortunately,
move,
they've not done that.
I gave Unlimited Love a 4, and you two gave it both a 5.
Wow. Well, I'd
we
made
were
it
being
that
very
score because
generous.
I did not listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. The song I couldn't think of before was "Don't Forget Me." By the way, I realised.
That's ironic, isn't it?
Very funny.
So that's been that review of Red Hot Chili Peppers' Return of the Dream Canteen. What a return it's been. And those have been all of our album spotlights. And that's also been the pod. Next week, we're covering Arctic Monkeys and Dry Cleaning. And to be honest, I'm pretty buzzing to do that. If you've enjoyed the video, then like it, ding the bell, and subscribe to our YouTube channel because there's content coming out of your fucking ears, man.
Content galore.
And obviously, here's the description to see where to find us elsewhere. If you are listening to us, you can find us on YouTube at Falls in the Hill Podcast or on Instagram and Facebook at Falls in the Hill Podcast, Twitter at Falls in the Hill Pod. And that's been it.
And on that note,
Liam
my video
is running out of time.
my video's already stopped. I waved goodbye when it ended. So you're going to see a black screen and maybe a very funny photo of me, I'm sure, Yanni.
There's plenty to choose from.
I'll do that.
Do his best. But and on that note again, because I still have to say that for some reason, it's lost all meaning at this point.
So is
but
everything.
So is life. So is life. We're here, we're friends, we're funny. Although you should believe we're funny anyway, because it's the truth, and God says what's true, and God is always right. So God bless God, and God bless America, and slow down, pucker up, whatever they say.
Yeah.
Slow
Simmer down, pucker up.
simmer.
That's the 1975, everyone.
Yeah, that's it. 1975 by 1975 from the album 1975.
Chocolate.
Brought to you from the year 1975.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.